live. What's up, everybody? It's Michelle with Mickey Grace, and I am official. I look like a DJ. I got my earphones on, and we are using a different room this time, which I think is pretty great. We've got some good lighting in here, so you can see me in all my beauty. 9 o'clock this evening. Um, Man, what a day. Let's start with the friendly banter, shall we? Really excited about today's show. First of all, today as I was sitting in my office preparing for the show, I should look at the camera instead of myself. My window was wide open, and I heard this woman screaming at her child, and she's like, "I'm tired. I've had it today. I need you to listen and get in the car." And she was just straight, she was so herself. And I just love when people can be real. It's so much better that way. I love when people share what they're really feeling. And I have to say, this is something I needed to learn myself, because I remember not too long ago, not allowing myself to feel certain feelings. And I want you to ask yourself today, what feeling have you not been feeling? Are you feeling sad and you're not allowing yourself to feel sad? Are you actually pretty appreciative right now? Are you actually quite complete right now and you're not fully sharing it because of people's expectations of you, or because you might look like a bad mother or a bad father or a bad partner? I want to invite you to see what you're really feeling and ask yourself, am I in alignment right now? Am I in alignment with who I really am when I feel this? Be authentic. I think that's what being me with Mickey Grace is all about. It's about me being authentic with you, and you being authentic with you, and us having the conversation of how that looks. What does it look like to be fully authentic? So, karmic coaching this last week was pretty amazing. We are in the karmic coaching room. It was so funny. I called it the Mickey Grace room earlier because this is where we have all our karmic coaching. But this time was about confidence. It was about alignment. It was about being in your power, and how that feels, and what we do to stay in that cycle of possibility. And we're going to be talking later about the power and possibility cycle. Is everything good? Mm-hmm. Okay. And lately I've really been playing with the pieces and cycles in my life, and actually really thinking about, previous mentors that I've had, previous people that I've worked with. Hold on, the screen just flipped to something else. Do I care? Okay.
Well, you don't care, actually.
I'm not supposed to care. I'm supposed to keep on talking, but now I understand why the kids couldn't concentrate earlier. If you have not checked it out, please be sure to check out the boys on Ustream as well. They were all chatting about homeschooling, and they definitely had a hard time not focusing on themselves in the camera, so it was really cute to watch that. But yeah, I've been really thinking about people that have made an impact in my life and different stages in my life. And, one of the things that I really value with my husband and myself is the fact that in the majority of our relationships, in the majority of our business relationships as well, that we've been very committed to closing things or ending things on a high. And really looking for ways to see the situation as a learning experience. And I can see it in my husband big time. I could see it in myself, and if there's any of you that, I was going to say this earlier, but if anybody has beef with me, I don't hold that. I don't hold that any longer. And I'm really looking, for forgiveness. I'm really looking for relief and looking for release of resistance. I think it's so important for all of us. I think it's what allows us to age less. It allows us to live the fullness and the wellness of our life. It allows us to experience true well-being, true alignment. So, both Chris and I have been very committed to maintaining these relationships, and lately, specific people have been in my mind, which is really nice. And today, I met up with that previous mentor, and I've mentioned him on calls before. His name is David Singh, and he's this incredible Guyanese Canadian entrepreneur who literally brought himself out of poverty in Guyana, where he's doing incredible work in that community, to today being this, incredible, you know, person who has achieved such success. And it was interesting because, you know, I was talking to his executive assistant, Robin, and there's another source of alignment, which I'll discuss later. Robin, the name Robin and the word Robin. Um, and as we were sharing, I was thinking about where I was 3 years ago, as a mother, as a wife, not really knowing who I was, not really feeling grounded in who I was. I was a new mother of two, and there was kind of this, shock, this kind of surprise. And for those of you who are parents, of two children, you kind of know what I'm talking about, where there's this phase maybe where, you remember what you were like before the kids. And in my case, I used to be this intense go-getter. The majority of the companies that I had worked in, I worked my way up to as close to the top as I could, and then moved on usually. And just working with all these people, and I realized at that time when I met David, the power to meeting David, was that he really was straight and to the point, that it was important for me to lay out my goals and to lay out my purpose and to really ask myself where I was in alignment in my life. I remember doing kind of that cycle, that life cycle. How do I feel about my relationships? How do I feel about my spirituality? How do I feel about my health? How do I feel about my finances, my professional life? And these are still aspects of my life that I continue to bring on till today. And he really helped me to see myself again as that same powerful person, but in a new light. And I think one of the best ways to explain it is actually, when you look at a woman after she's had a child, and something that my doctor has taught me, is that she said that, you develop all these other muscles as a woman when you're pregnant, right? So your body is going through these massive changes, and then, your muscle strength actually increases radically, like in your lower part of your body, including your legs. And the benefit really then is that if a woman gets back into shape, she can be even stronger than ever. And I could see that in myself, that I'm actually stronger. I may not see it completely physically at this point, but I'm definitely stronger than I was before. And I think in the same way, when we look at our lives and think about the past, so sometimes we think about the past, and I used to do this myself about California, because I would long for California, because I remember living there previous to having the kids, and thinking about California and wanting to be there, and wanting to experience it again, because it was just such an incredible experience for us, and almost from a longing standpoint, as opposed to, what was that for? What did I learn from that? What did I gain from that experience? And I think that's something that I want to ask you today. Looking at your previous life experiences, as challenging as they might be, looking at them as massive learning milestones, seeing them as successes like never before. This is what I've been going through lately. And then I also stopped by at Pavilion, which is, where's Pavilion again? What is that? North York? No, Markham or something? Richmond Hill. Pavilion, where I used to work in sales as well. And I passed by, and the sales manager there, go check it out. It's a beautiful club, is Paulo. And, I just had a great conversation with him, and knowing who I was, even just a year ago, I don't think that I could do that. I don't think that I could have looked at, previous aspects of my life through eyes that just saw such possibility as I do today. So that really made me happy. Um, and, I mean, the thing is, when we look at our lives, I've had clients that have traveled halfway across the world to people that they thought they were absolutely in love with, only to find that no, they were not, you know? So there's so many ways that we can look at situations in our life, and I invite you to really, really do the same. What I'm noticing about the work that I'm doing right now is that I'm actually using a really cool bee mentality. And I told you guys last week, we spoke about the hive mentality, about fertility and honey. And I was mentioning to you this incredible woman, Christine Nightingale, that's her last name. She is a spirit baby coach. So she actually is able to communicate with the babies of people who have lost their children or people that are trying to, like a fertility coach, basically. She's an amazing woman. She spoke about, fertility, and she's got this beehive in the back of her home. And she says it's because of fertility. And I'm just noticing a lot how I'm also cross pollinating my businesses. So I am, yes, a speaker. Yes, I am a coach. But so my speaking engagements incorporate my coaching. And my speaking and coaching incorporate my production, because this is a production right now. And my production incorporates my writing, and my coaching also incorporates the production. And my clients are involved in many ways in the production, and I love that. I think there's something there, because I see a lot of successful people doing that. The most successful people that I know in my life, that I've experienced through actually, sharing with them, but also through mentors. They really cross pollinate their businesses. They really, not only look for the things that please them and make them happy and joyous and where they have their strengths, but they also have this beautiful tendency to tie it all together. Sir Richard Branson, obviously, Donald Trump, just incredible, incredible people and thinkers. So ask yourself, maybe, um, what is that about? But more importantly, like projects, and I, it's not only cross pollination within businesses maybe that you might have, but in your life. Okay, so hear me out on this one. So imagine, you know, what is the full essence? What is the fullness of who you are in your body? I ask myself, and I envision this on a daily basis, what would my body look like, if I was fully embracing my essence? And you guys know what my essence is. I say it every week, so I'm going to say it right now. Love, warmth, welcoming, open, and caring. You can't say your essence without smiling. I don't know. I haven't been able to yet. So that's why I would suggest you attend Prosperity 101 and find out what your essence is, because, that's my essence. What does that look like? Man, that just, it looks fly for sure. I could just envision it, and I envision it myself already, but even more so. Cross pollinate that, right? Like apply that to another area of your life. What would that look like financially? And there was a time when that was very, very hard for me to even touch on, but it's starting to come. It's starting to be there, where I'm envisioning the ease of it, you know? Professionally, what does that look like? What do you do? What do you do when you're in your essence? What do you do when you're in your essence? Think about it. I absolutely love this. This is amazing for me. I love speaking. I spoke yesterday. I'll share about that in a little bit. And those are ways that I'm working in my essence, helping people with their projects, helping people to improve on their lives. What are those things for you? How can you apply that same beehive mentality? Apply it to all the areas of your life. So, what patterns do you see in your life? Ask yourself. What are the ontological equations? And my coach, Hans Phillips, used to always, he used to say, an ontological equation it's almost in the beginning, it's almost like this freaky thing. Like, Hans, I organized all my socks and suddenly the phone rang and I got $500. Or, I cleaned out my car and that new client finally signed up. And, is it an area of integrity that you need to clean up? Is it a mindset that you need to clean up? Is there that one last block in your heart, in your heart or in your mind that needs to be cleaned up? What is that? How can you apply that to your life, right? So that's a really cool question to ask. What are the ontological equations? But how can life get sweeter? That's what I want to ask you right now. How can life get sweeter for you? What would that look like? Think about honey. How would your life get sweeter? What about that question? The other day I wrote life is sweet, sweet, sweet. That's what I wrote on Facebook, and I really mean it. I really mean it. I'm just experiencing, and again, I'm not saying that I don't have bad days. Of course, we experience that, but when things are good, focus on the good. Focus on the good. It's only the expectation and context of others that really forces us to look at the bad, And again, I'm not saying to ignore reality. I'm not saying, that you're being a Pollyanna and pretending that things don't exist. I'm just saying if life's good for you, and I feel that for a lot of people right now, celebrate that, honor that, accept that, you know? So that's it for friendly banter. That was a good amount of time of friendly banter. But I wanted to talk today because we've been talking about alignment of self. And last week we talked about, actually Cassie has this amazing mind map that she created. And I think we're going to find a way to get it either online or send it to you guys. But we're gonna map it out and do it again. But, last week she did this mind map. So really we talked about alignment, about, stretching beyond your comfort zone, feeling brave, the consciousness of self, what self-love looks like, what self-confidence really is. We went into the feeling of success and the feeling of fear, and how sometimes they can feel the same. We'll touch on a little bit of that too today. And then, awareness of yourself in your well-being. What are the reasons why you're eating that food? What are the reasons why your room is always a mess? What are the reasons why no matter what, you can't crack that one relationship in your life? It's just, screwing you up. You know what I mean? I'm trying not to swear this time because my mom gave me a little lecture about swearing. It was so funny. It was hilarious. I want to mention that. Actually, I'm going to tell the story just very quickly because it's hilarious. So I'm driving my mom to the hospital and I'm just like, Mom, you know what? You have to listen to my show. It's 9 p.m. on Thursdays. I'm like, just listen to it. I think you'll really like it. I'm like, you'll really hear, the work that I do. And I said, but I'm just warning you, I swear in it. And she just goes, why do you have to swear? And I was just like, well, when you want to just make a difference and you want to, like, drive some passion behind something, like, when you go freak or like frickin', and and she's like, well, what kind of words do you say then? I'm like, like fuck. My mom's face, it was the funniest thing. Oh my God. And it was just really funny because I drop her off at the hospital. And so we end the conversation and she's just like, well, I just don't know why you have to swear. I don't understand what the point of that is. And she gets out of the car. Okay, fine. She leaves. 3 hours later, I pick her up. 3 hours later, and the woman comes back in the car. So I'm serious about this swearing thing. I mean, it's not really necessary for you, especially if you're going to be speaking at schools and, especially. And I was just like, Mom, I just want people to know that I'm real. I want them to feel what I'm feeling. So anyway, I'm going to try not to swear today for my mom. And also because I was talking to the boys about it and I was just like, when do you guys think it's okay to swear? And they're like, oh, we think swearing is funny, And I was just like, but is it necessary? I mean, do you, like, if you really mean it, this is what I learned. Actually, I wanted to say this. I learned from Father Vic de Jesus, who is a priest. He's a Jesuit priest. He's an amazing person that I learned from when I was 18. And I remember him swearing in a workshop and he said, fuck. He said the F word. And he said that we could, if we mean it, we say it. If we feel it in here, we say it. And that's stuck with me forever. And I've taught that to my kids. You can disagree with me. That's cool. I have taught that to my children where they can say it if they mean it. and they have to be certain that they're in a circle that, people are comfortable with. And so we have this circle, basically this family circle of people that understand that. But there are members of our family and friends that say, I prefer that not, like I prefer that you do not do that around me. And they tell them, like my parents tell the kids that, right? So, and that's perfectly fine because they're still civilians. They're not Neanderthals, walking around on their knuckles, but it's just interesting. So I'm trying not to swear. I am trying my best. So yeah, that was what we talked about last week, and looking for acknowledgement, which was something else, which was very interesting. And so what I wanted to talk about today was unconditional love and what that really means for people and what that means in how you love yourself and how you love other people. And I want you to kind of feel this right now, okay? I'm really going to ask you today to feel some stuff with me because I think that's what I do best. I think what I do best is really kind of assist people in their shift through their feelings. I always do this dance, where because of the intuitive work that I do, I'm able to tap into you, into the wholeness of you, into the realness of you because, of the oneness, right? And just really speak to that. So I want you to feel this today. I want you to think about what unconditional love really is, okay? And if you're spiritual and if you have any type of spiritual backing, every great book that's out there, the Bible, whatever you want to look at, love is the most powerful force of all. Love is the highest energy, okay? That alignment. And I think we don't really think about applying that unconditional love to ourselves. I mean, I know that I apply it to my husband when there's times that I want to apply conditions of how I'm going to love him or what it means for him to love me. We always create these conditions and these boundaries, which are important. It's important to create those boundaries. But what is unconditional love? What is it really? And if we are, even struggling with understanding that ourselves, then do we really understand what it is for ourselves? Okay? If we're trying to understand what that is outside of ourselves, how we apply that unconditional love to someone else, well, we're probably going to have some challenges with loving ourselves unconditionally. And, people talk about mirror work all the time. And, I've had a lot of people recommend that to me. I've had coaches recommend that to me. And it's very interesting. Try it sometime. Try looking at yourself in the mirror. And what I notice that I'm doing more of myself is flirting with myself, making those cute eyes to yourself and, checking yourself out sometimes. It's not conceit. It's not ego. It's just appreciation. It's loving yourself unconditionally. Yeah, you should have more money. Yeah, you should be, you should weigh less. Yeah, you should have a few less gray hairs, blah, 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 blah. Like we could say that about anybody. But what do you love about yourself? What do you love about yourself? And think about that, because think of that how applies to your alignment. Think about how that applies to what you're experiencing in your life today. How are you holding out on yourself right now? How are you keeping back from yourself? What art have you not done? What poem have you not written? What, and it doesn't have to be financial. Do you see that though? Do you see that love? Like, we don't have to think about, how I treat myself or anything. However, I did do this today. I went to the grocery store today and I bought food, based on not having to think about a budget. And that's not usual for me because I'm very, pretty strict with my food budget because I've really started to learn how much, what we need to buy in the house. And I'm still learning. I'm still learning to this day. But today I really bought from the place that I want to be in and the place that loves me the most. So, tonight we had this quinoa meal, which is actually from this book. So I'm going to do a little plug for my girl here, Christina Gallo. It's Christina A. Gallo, and this is Yummy for Every Tummy. It's a pretty cool book. But anyway, I got the recipe from this, and oops, sorry. It was pretty awesome. That hurt. It was a pretty awesome recipe. I thought it was pretty tasty myself. But yeah, like how can you love yourself more unconditionally? How can you apply that same love that you give to your children, to your spouse, to your partner, to your friends, to your parents, to your sisters, to your brothers, to your pets? How can you also apply that to yourself? Because it's okay. It's okay to do that. Who told you not to love yourself? Who told you not to, say, wow, you look pretty good right now? Damn, who told you that? Who said that? Right? And it's like, let's start questioning that. Let's start asking those questions from now on. I wanted to talk about the power and possibility cycle. So if you guys want this, check it. It's a copy of this. It's called, it's backwards. The Power and Possibility Cycle. This is from Hans Phillips, my mentor. I can forward it to you if you email me at mikigracecoaching@gmail.com, or go to my website. Go to my Facebook page. Website is coming, everyone. But I did want to tell you about this, and I'm going to read you some of the parts of this Power and Possibility Cycle, because I have to tell you, I feel like there's a lot of you out there that are in that place right now. You are in this Power and Possibility Cycle. I've been talking to you guys. I've been talking to a lot of people, and a lot of people are sharing with me the shift that they're in. Man, there's some stuff going on. Man, I'm in transition in this job. Hey, I'm moving right now. Hey, I just sold my house. Hey, I'm about to sell my house. There's a lot of movement, and I'm not abreast to a lot of the shift stuff so much. I'm getting there, and I'm surrounding myself with some sick-ass people, excuse my language, some sick-ass people who know about, what is happening in the ground and in the earth. But till then, till I learn that too, so I can share it with you, I'm going to tell you about this, because I think it's important for you to know, what cycle are you in Power and Possibility. And we'll talk about the fear cycle next time. But today it's Power and Possibility. And, you can really start anywhere here, but let's start at the top. And it says, believe in self. Hey, we've been talking about that. We've been talking about confidence and knowing that you're worthy just because you're breathing. You're alive right now. You're watching this right now. I'm alive. That's enough. That is enough sometimes. Make that enough. The next one is, down here is vision and believe, right? Vision, believe, prepare positively for the future. So how have you done that? How are you preparing positively for the future? Are you working on your mindset? Are you reading the good books? Are you listening to good podcasts? Are you surrounding yourself with people that care and love you? Are you eating good foods? What are you doing for yourself? Think about it. And that's exactly what it says here: body, mind, spirit, family. We're going to talk about the well-being checklist and what's that all about, and how you can really, we talked about it a little bit, I think, last week. And it's so important to maintain those rituals for yourself. It's so important to maintain the things that are making a difference for you. I'm doing this amazing prosperity consciousness meditation, guided meditation right now. Man, it's good. It's from Ascension 101. I really would recommend that you check that out. And I love it, because it's 8 minutes. If you can't take 8 minutes for your life, then I don't know how you're watching this. Go to bed early. Wake up early. Do whatever you have to do. Take this time for yourself. The other thing, too, is quit beating yourself up for thinking that it's hard. Okay? Because you know what? If it's hard, then it's hard. Things might be hard for you right now. Accept it. My friend Jenna told me that the other day. She's an incredible ontological coach. And she's also a personal trainer as well. Jenna Smith, Regeneration Coaching. And as I was talking to her the other day, she said to me, she was so funny. She said, yeah, Michelle, it's what you're going through. Some parts of it are hard. Give that to yourself. Allow yourself to feel that. And I want to say that to you right now. Live life joyously. And if things are shitty right now, then they're shitty. Accept it. It's okay. If it's probably shitty, like if you've got really really bad things going on, then yes, allow yourself to feel that pain. And if you need some support, reach out for it. Reach out for it. Post something subliminal or message me on Facebook. I'd be happy to give you some Facebook love. It's all good. That's what I'm here for. That's really what I'm here for on this planet, honestly. And I'm so good at shifting people through their emotions to help them to see the other side. The other side of this. We're going to do some more of this too. So what happens after maintaining those components of body, mind, spirit, and family? Well, high performance. High performance comes from that. You feel good. You feel good about yourself. You're contributing to your worth. When I got those groceries today and when I cooked, from this nutrition plan, which is actually the great thing about this book is that it's candida free. This is the most strictest, it follows the strictest diet, gluten free, candida free. And I'm doing my best to introduce one or two recipes. I was going to say one per day. And it's funny because I have been doing one per day, but just a few recipes per week because I'm committed to trying to see what life doesn't look like without candida and, other things in my body. And it's not easy, but today's meal was fantastic. So then you stay in the flow when you're in high performance. You're taking care of yourself. You're able to care for others when you take better care of yourself, right? Then we run into balance and positivity. And what does that look like? Well, it says leave room for problems. Well, didn't I just say that? Isn't that interesting? Leave room for problems. Leave room for problems because sometimes the universe, sometimes God, sometimes non-physical, whatever you want to call it, fate happens, and we don't really know until we stand back and look at the intricate work of this huge thing before us, this huge life before us. We really do not know. And that's what I want to say about that, because sometimes we make these quick assumptions. I've made a mistake. I've done something terrible. I'm a failure. This is not working out for me. The other day, something big happened. Like, it's not even really that big, but it was something that would have got me off guard and totally taken me out for a good day. And I'm talking, I'm talking depression, not diagnosed depression because, I'm not on any medications, but sometimes things would usually take me out. And now I'm noticing they're not taking me out because it's a choice, people. It's a choice in how we are choosing to see these circumstances. Are we choosing to see it through the eyes of somebody, that has a different perception of us? Or are we choosing to see it from our own standpoint? Because I can tell you right now, your inner being, your God spirit, your God force, your non-physical, the source of who you really are, whatever you want to call it, is probably not seeing that thing as bad as you are. It's probably seeing that thing as actually the quickest way to get closer to what you really want than you could ever believe. And I'm going to share some stories with you that will show you that, So the next stage here is balance and positivity. And I like that word balance because it can mean a lot of things for people. Sometimes balance is really not balance at all. But, balance and positivity. And what that says here is the lighter I get about this, the better it's going to go. I could be light about this. I don't have to be so serious about this. I don't have to have a solution right now. I don't need to make this bigger than it is. I don't have to be so drama about this. And I'm the biggest drama queen of all. I am such a drama queen, okay? I used to have a mug that said Diva. I used to have a very good friend of mine, Roz Greenfield, who lives in San Francisco now. She used to call me Diva, girlfriend, Diva. Like, that was my previous personality. And maybe there's still aspects of that within me that I'm not going to hate. That I'm not going to hate because it's part of who I am. But we don't have to be so addicted to the drama anymore. It's not necessary. It's not only not becoming, but it just creates more energy around something that maybe is one of the best things that could happen right now. So I just want to invite you to take a look at that. The next one here is empower others, quash fear, and then positive impact on myself, others, and our world. And it says lead and succeed. And this is the power and possibility cycle. So beautiful, and it says in the middle here, prepare and plan, revisit the plan and amend. No need to figure it all out from day one. Keep the faith and keep attracting possibility. And I'm going to run on this cycle for as long as I can. And I'm going to be very aware of my fear cycle. I'm going to be very aware, but this has a lot of new meaning for me. So again, I really invite you to check it out. Please do email me, mikigracecoaching@gmail.com, or visit my Facebook page, which is Miki Grace. I'm going to go here right now. It's a haven of inspiration to create the life of our dreams. So it looks like, cool. Looks like I just got a message here from somebody, but I'm going to answer her later. But so yeah, that's the power and possibility cycle. Please do email me if you want to check it out. And myself or Cassie will get it to yourself. Locate yourself. Locate yourself on that power and possibility cycle, because I'm telling you right now, I wouldn't have said it if I didn't feel there were people out there right now in this moment that needed to hear this, that needed to know, where am I right now? Am I hovering between possibility and fear? I was last week. I was hovering between possibility and fear. I wasn't really sure where I was operating at. And now I full out feel that I'm in power and possibility. Okay. So, what's up this week? Well, I wanted to share, we were supposed to have Cassie on, and that hasn't worked out quite yet, and that's all good. Love to you, Cassie. We'll figure it out eventually. But today I wanted to talk about some cool synchronicities, because I've been talking about alignment and how alignment might show up for you. Maybe it might be a robin redbreast. That's what I see all the time. Robins, if you look up the animal meaning, they mean, I think it's like recreation and new birth. And man, there's so many Robins in my life, like actual people named Robin and little robins that are flying all over the place. I'm seeing very, very amazing, I'm calling them cool synchronicities instead of saying funny synchronicities, because I want to be conscious of my language. I don't want to go Valley Girl again and be like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. Isn't it amazing? Isn't this so cool? Like, questioning my power, questioning the fact that this is part of my soul, contract with myself. This is part of what I'm meant to do on earth. All these things that are happening right now is it's supposed to happen, So I'm really, instead of saying funny synchronicities, I'm saying cool synchronicities until I say, true synchronicities. So, stuff like people calling me out of the blue, letting me know that they've got projects that they're looking to produce. Schools asking me to speak to them, and companies that are asking to partner with me and utilize some of my programs within their corporations. So really exciting stuff. And I had an amazing Wednesday. I want to share this because we're kind of on the tail end here, but I'm very proud of this. I actually spoke. This was kind of a vision of mine, but I spoke at this event. Thank you. Clapping his hands here. And this says Building Bridges, a networking and employment event. Engage, build, connect. And it's a certificate of recognition because I participated in their amazing networking event. And the two phenomenal women that have created this program, you can check out their website, is Ashima Suri and Erica Armstrong. They were lovely. And Kirsty, who is a friend of David Emmanuel, who introduced me. And Kirsty is their PR person. And I apologize, I will add her name to my Facebook so that I could get that to you. But it was such a cool event. I got to speak in front of a group, and it was my first bigger group than usual. And I'm definitely going to say that, I'm definitely going to do more work with them, first of all. And I'm actually going to record the talk or the speech that I gave. And I'm going to put it into an MP3, and then I'm going to send it out to you guys. So make sure you're on the database and email Cassie or myself, and I will send you that MP3. I wanted to talk about this really the interesting synchronicity that has happened. And I want to share it with you because I want you to look at your life and I want you to notice maybe some of the synchronicities in your life because they need to be pointed out, they need to be acknowledged. And a few weeks back, I was watching a recording by Chase Jarvis. Oliver introduced it to Chris and I. Chase Jarvis, who interviewed Adrian Grenier. And Adrian Grenier is Vinny from Entourage. And he's an amazing, amazing actor. And he's a cutie. And so Chase was interviewing him. And he was talking about his documentary called Paparazzo. And he was talking about responsible media. And ever since I saw that, because I saw Paparazzo last year, I actually watched it a number of times because I was so intrigued by, just how far we've gone because of the power of the internet as well as media in general in wanting fame and the money and all this stuff and how that can affect somebody, how it can affect, being intruded upon in your life and being put on a pedestal and being seen as somebody, differently. And it really made me ask a lot of questions about what responsible media is. And then I also started thinking, I really love to work with that guy. I'd really love to meet him and just have a conversation with him because I think he's incredible. I think the fact that he is this vulnerable artist, so he's part of the art in acting and, using his body as this masterpiece to create, to act and do that for people and in order for them to have this emotional response. I mean, I really see it as an art is what I'm trying to say. And then for him to go further and create this documentary that he's using the power of his celebrity to bring more awareness. And I just think it's amazing. So I was like, I want to work with that guy and I'm going to work with him and like just kind of doing that in my head, for a while. And then I go to this event and this girl that I meet, I won't say her name, but, this girl that I meet basically says, yeah, I'm friends with him. I was at the premiere and we're going to get together for coffee soon. So I just found that alignment. I'm going to claim that alignment right now because, it might not turn into anything, but it doesn't matter because I know I'm close, I know I'm getting there. And again, it doesn't even matter because that happened, for her to say, oh yeah, you should bring him up here to, to show his movie and da 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 da. So it was kind of cool. But that's what I want to ask yourself, ask yourself, if you're in an aligned place, what is it that you really want? Do you, how big do you want to go? How big do you want to go with your vision? How big do you want to go for your dream? Have you always wanted to be a writer of a movie production? Have you always wanted to, recite your poetry in front of public? Have you always wanted to be part of a flash mob? Have you wanted to, go snowboarding in, I don't know, in Australia? Do they have snowboarding in Australia? Yeah, they do, right? Yeah. That would be my husband's dream. But like, what is your dream? What is your big dream? And who told you to stop dreaming? It's funny because people, and I know I've said this before where, this is also Roz Greenfield, I told you, one of my closest friends when I was living in the US, she used to say to me, Michelle, you're kind of like Cinderella, but you never woke up from the dream. And so it's kind of like you're like a princess. You're like the one that really believes that the fairy tale is true. That's what she said. And that kind of made me think, yeah, am I like that? Am I that kind of person that really, and you know what? It's true because I really firmly believe that dreams can come true. I firmly believe that you can think really, really big and the universe is just waiting to show you that you're right. You're right. I mean, it was just so plain to me. It was so plain to me when that happened because it was just so close. Just like how the radio was so close. I've been envisioning, I wanted a radio show. It was like 3 weeks. And then 3 weeks later, it's like, oh, there you go. Here you go. Meridius Radio. So, we are on the cusp of realization of oneness as a planet. We are on, you see it everywhere. You know, the shift network, whether it's The Secret, whether it's Abraham Hicks, Robert Ohio, like all these, you know, Wayne Dyer, Deepak Chopra, you know, Eckhart Tolle, Oprah, like all these people in their own ways, you know, are people are learning more and more ways to be conscious, to be aware of how they fit in this big picture and how they fit in this planet, and you know how it's all connected, you know. And I want to ask you, because maybe this is not something that's ever been asked of you, how are you taking advantage of that? What are you doing for yourself to go on with this ride, go on with this ride of discovering the art of living, the art of life? Our lives, guys, the way that we're living our lives, that is our art. So if you couldn't think of, you know, oh, I've always wanted to learn how to sew. Oh, I've always, like, if you couldn't think of a goal, you're living your life. What you are living is your art. It is how you are expressing yourself to the planet. It is your expression. The recording of it is what is going to be carried on in history. Your expression of life is how you're living right now, and that encompasses everything. That's the ontological approach. That's what ontology is all about. It encompasses everything in your life. How are you living? You know, think about it. It's not only about food, because it's very easy to apply that question to wellness, you know? But you know what else it is too? You know what else it is too? It's also relationship, forgiveness, love. You know, what are you expressing? How are you taking advantage of this time on earth? You know, what area in your life? Ask yourself. I'm asking myself earnestly. You know, I know the very areas in my life, you know, that are they're in still need of integrity. And I'm very straight with myself about that, you know, because it is something that I want to be in integrity in. And ask yourself, what are those same things for you? So take advantage of that shift, y'all. Take advantage of the shift that is on the planet, because there's just more than enough people to assist you and support you and help you to create that vision for your life. There's so many people that are willing to do that with you right now, myself included. So I did want to do a Miki Grace quarterly report. If you saw it, I'm kind of excited. I wanted to share about, you know, how this first quarter has been for Miki Grace. And I want you to take the time to ask yourself too, what has your first quarter been like in your business? So this is going to get a little businessy right now, you know, because we've been talking about well-being, and you guys know where I'm at for well-being and all that stuff. And you know, ask yourself where you are in those phases, and you can apply these questions in that way too. But you know, okay, well, what's my quarterly report? Well, in the beginning of the year, it was kind of dark. It was kind of dark because we stopped the rent busters, and I got into a little funky place, I think, because you know, I was kind of addicted to the work, and you know, working with Chris and Oliver, they're just so fun to be around, and being known as the rent busters, and it was about the name. And of course, like financially, it was just this big, you know, hit on both my husband and myself. And you know, it was this, what did I learn from that? Well, you know, it was a lot. Actually, it was that, you know, I needed to be at ease about it. I needed to release the resistance about it, because it allowed me to live the vision of Miki Grace, to live the vision for my business. And I've seen the massive growth that I've had in being able to apply my time more effectively to my business. And it's awesome. You know, it's really picking up. It's getting there. And we've had 4 karmic coaching sessions so far since January. It's so exciting. I'm so happy about that program. It is such a part of where I see the entire business going in terms of outreach. I see karmic coaching growing and growing. And, you know, we've been consistent with our numbers so far. And it was a little smaller in April, but I did have a few people that, weren't able to attend, but it was still an awesome, awesome day. And I know we're going to have more again this month. And then we had to introduce, another karmic coaching session, and that's going to happen, I believe, in June. We also have Prosperity 101 that's happening in June as well, and that is happening. I wonder if I brought my little flyer here. That's happening June 9th, so I'll share some dates with you. The other, big win was starting Being Me with Miki Grace and creating this amazing content that we're always going to visit in the future. It's so awesome. I really love being able to share this with you guys and being able to watch it again, myself included. Cassie and I watched it and she was taking notes, and it was so cool because I was learning from it. Because sometimes we talk and we don't listen. I was actually at a Momentum meeting the other day, and I was sharing with them, sometimes read your journal, sometimes look at your computer, look at the stuff that you're writing, look at the emails that you write, look at the thoughts that you're thinking. It's really amazing to see how profound we really can be and how much we can really learn from each other. So, so then speaking engagements, so excited for the speaking engagements that have been happening. The group coaching program that's starting this month, there's still about, I'd say, 3 more spots maybe for the group coaching. So if you are interested in group coaching, please email me, mikigracecoaching@gmail.com, MIKIGRACE coaching@gmail.com. If you're interested in the group coaching program, it's extremely affordable. It's an amazing program that is meant for people who are either in business for themselves or are just looking, or have a side business that they're running, or are entrepreneurs and are looking to create a lot more balance and alignment in their business life and applying it to their lives as well. So that's going to be an incredible program. And if you are interested, as I said, probably I think 3 would be a good fair number because it's filling up. It's filling up. The production, I've got the web series going. That's going to be starting in September. A web show that's already in production, and I'll share more with you in the next few weeks, guys. And then screenplays with film and television that I'm working on right now. I'm working on an incredible project with Miss Akua Hines. I think I've mentioned it before. She will be on the show in the next few weeks, and you're going to see us sharing more and more about our project. And then Santa Cruz, we've got this event called Big Love with Hans Phillips and his lovely, lovely wife, Desiree Phillips. And it's called Big Love. And it's all about empowering and helping to co-create these phenomenal partnerships and relationships with ourselves and with others around us. And I cannot wait to bring this program. This program is going to come to Canada, and I'm going to bring it there, guys. I'm going to bring it here, and we're going to host our own events here eventually. But until then, I'm going to be going to Santa Cruz probably in the next few weeks. So check it out. And finally, Le Salon with Miki Grace. It's coming. I've been talking about it for years. Hans Phillips was the one that shared this idea with me. And the salon was actually created mainly by women. If you look up Le Salon in Wikipedia, you'll see what it's all about. But basically, it was at a time when society was defined and regulated almost completely by men, and women could only be powerful influence in the salon. And what they would do is they would invite, these incredible people to their homes, in their salons, and, artists and performers and poets and writers and, politicians and maybe people of influence, celebrities, and they would invite them to their salon, and they would just have different topics, and they would share. And this is what I'm going to do, full out intuitive sessions with you guys. So be there. I'm actually going to try to do one right now in a little bit. But it was just a cool thing. So we're doing that June 15th. It should be a Friday night, and be on the lookout. It's by invitation only. It's going to be off the hook. It's going to be sick. There's going to be music. There's going to be performance. People will be doing skits. People will be reading poetry. There's going to be a poetry slam. And all is well, man. People are going to do what they do, and it's going to be an amazing night. It's a private event, so by invitation only. So make sure you reach out to me in the next little bit. Hopefully, you can be invited to that. It's going to be unbelievable. Le Salon with Mickey Grace. So Ooh, that is kind of my assessment of the business. But, ask yourself, what's up for your business? What have you been up to? What has your first quarter been like? Look at yourself, look at your body, look at your business, your family, your life. How is your piece of art? How is your piece of art doing this first quarter? How is your creation? How is that going for you? And if it's not going exactly as you thought, maybe start inviting yourself to enjoy life a little bit more. It was funny. I was talking to my son about prancing around my bathroom before taking a shower, and I can't do it right now because I'm locked in with these chairs. But I was prancing around like a pony, and we've been doing it the last few days, and it's just the most hilarious thing. And it's like, don't do it for any other reason other than just loving life and just embracing the joy of this moment, embracing that moment. So, being in the now, being in the present moment, being authentic, knowing who you truly are, that's what make time work for you. That's what makes money work for you. That's what make connections work for you. That's what this is all about, releasing attachment. I have more stuff to talk about, but I did want to end with this. I want to connect with you right now. Those of you who are watching, and even if you're watching when this is a recording, I want to connect with you because I felt this earlier. I'm going to use some of my intuitive work right now, and I want to full out connect with you right now. So just kind of center yourself and just, be connected with yourself right now and really focus on, what it is that you want. What it is that you want for your life, what is it that you want to feel right now? What is the sensation that you want to feel? Do you want to feel good? Do you want to feel joy? I want to connect with you, and you want to connect with you. And what I feel about a lot of people out there listening right now is that, and I feel this about me too, okay? We're on this edge right now. We're on this edge, and we are experiencing some fluid, quick transitions, some very big changes in our life, some impactful decisions, some impactful, incredible things. We're running into all these old faces and new faces. We're experiencing, I just kind of envision like a train station or, Times Square. Just imagine something that busy. That's what it feels like physically for us right now. It feels like this really rapid stream of movement that's happening. And what's being asked of us right now is actually an allowing, a choice to decide to take it easy, a choice to decide to mellow out, a choice to decide to allow things to happen in an easier way, in a more comfortable way, in a more peaceful way. And I feel this for a lot of the people listening right now. I feel it for myself, where it's not about the aligned action, although we are in some serious action right now. We're in some pretty amazing action, really. And it's not about that, though. It's not about the action. It's really about the allowing, about the grace. It's about the choice to experience what we're going through in a lighter way, in a more graceful way. And I want you to invite you to do the same. And with that said, I'm going to finish off with a poem tonight, because I love reading these poems. And I have to say, at the building bridges, I actually read a poem, and it was pretty awesome. I just felt really good about it. So this one, I think this one's called There She Goes, or something like that. But I wrote this one a little while back. And it can be applicable to anybody. And if you're listening right now, I invite you, if you want to close your eyes and really experience this, do so. You know, close your eyes. You're at home anyway. And really experience this and kind of take flight with me on this poem. All right? So here we go. There she goes. The fire of the woman she goes. She drifts high into the sky, so replete with this passion. Wow. She flies so high into the air. We squint our eyes because we're not sure. Sure, we are certain our shoulders were burdened by the lack of hope, the worry, the fear that the fire it would not come, and there rising through the ashes, the death of her so fierce when she found it was her all along. The long, long line it was, driving her sometimes to the fast fury of passion that burned her inside, that phoenix, that fiery power. There it grew back out of those ashes and rose, it did. The rose so red, so passionate, so powerful, again, so new, remembering this time what it was all about. Reborn. So God, so good. That is it for me, everybody. I hope that you guys have enjoyed tonight's live recording of Being Me with Miki Grace. Stay tuned next time for some saucy, saucy stuff. And have a succulent and wonderful week. And I'll see you soon.